Good morning, friends. Pastor Al, Thursday, July 30th, talking about miracles. And I'm going to specifically talk about the first miracle that John recorded in his gospel, and that was Jesus at the wedding. Jesus and some of his disciples were invited to this wedding, and his mother was at the wedding. We know that because after they'd been there for a time, his mother came to Jesus and said, "They're almost out of wine." And Jesus has this, to me, kind of a strange response. What's that got to do with me, Mom? It's like, wait a minute. But then she just said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you to do." And there was no argument. And so it's like, Jesus, get on with it. Do something here. Oh, and so what Jesus do? There was 6 big containers of water that they used for ceremonial cleaning, held 20 to 30 gallons of water each. I mean, these are huge. He said, "Fill them up." And then once they were full, he simply said to the servants, "Now take some to the steward, the one who's kind of in charge. He has to do a taste test." And he tasted it and he said, "Wow, this is the best wine ever." And he went to the bridegroom and he said, most people will serve the good wine. And then when people have had a lot of wine, you know what I mean? They've been a little tipsy perhaps. Then they'll throw in the cheap wine and nobody will know the difference. But you saved the best to last. This interesting miracle. This is the first miracle, as I said, that John recorded. And the cool thing was, it just reminds us that God cares about what's going on in our lives. The thing about a Jewish wedding in those days, it usually would start on Wednesday if the bride was a virgin, on Thursday if she was a widow, and then there'd be this joyous celebration on the way to the groom's house, and the celebration would last up to a week or more. Well, the wine had to flow through all that time. And if a family ran out of wine, the whole neighborhood, the whole community would be talking about them forever. So it's kind of like saving face. And it just reminds us that God cares about all aspects of our life. A lot of times we think about healing miracles and we think about healing the body. But this was something different. And it was the first miracle that John recorded. And so just remember that God cares about every aspect of your life. If you got a problem, turn it over to the Lord. Have a blessed day.